Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Girls Frontline 2 video. Now, this video is going to be about team building, and I'm sure you guys, maybe if you guys are starting to creep into level 13, you're starting to realize that actually leveling up characters are not cheap. Alright, so if you guys notice, I think level 30 is the threshold that you start to see like everything is getting super expensive. You can see from 30 to 31, I only take 2000 of these. 31, 32 is like 2000 jump, right? But from 32 to 33, now you can see, ooh, now that's like 4000 jump. 33 to 34, now it's gonna be 13,000. So it gets super expensive. To level up one character from 30 to 40 is gonna take 61,000 of that. So for context, that is going to be if you are able to farm supply mission, this particular obtain combat report right here. You need to farm the last stage, right here you can see. You need to farm this like 10 times. So that is like very expensive. So let's talk about team building. Alright, let's talk about team building. Who is safe to build, who is safe to invest, and what you want to be looking out for early on. So I've made this chart right here. A very simple chart to give you guys a perspective of what characters are going to be extremely strong. And also we're going to have a look at the CN players list later by this particular user called Shi Yueying. But you can see in the CN server, now, CN is way ahead of global, right? Obviously, a lot of the characters they are going to recommend, a lot of these we don't have access to yet, right? So, Swami and Cheongju, I think those two are going to be pretty much safe, and those you will see a lot. But other than that, you're pretty much not going to see a lot of the characters that are recommended to be built. They are currently in global, but keep in mind some characters are still getting buff, right? So I've covered my recent video where Tololo and also Sabrina is getting buff. So there's those angles to put into perspective as well. Some of these lists, they may change in accordance to time, so keep that in mind. So let's jump into the team building for global server. Who's the best one you want to start out with? Now before you start, I am aware that this particular Google Doc right here is not the prettiest looking, alright? I know it's a little bit ugly. I took like 10 minutes to try to do this. And I'm pretty sure like, you know, some 13-year-old kid could do a better job than me. But hey, it's a thought that counts, right? So let's talk about what is important here. So we got Swami, very strong character. She's definitely worth investing, definitely worth building, and she is going to be meta into the late game. Definitely a very strong contender. Same applies for Cheongju. I'm sure you guys are aware of that, right? But with Cheongju, she is going to have a special synergy with Shakri. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys have Shakri yet. She is going to be a character that, unless you do a lot of pulls, you might not be able to obtain her, but there's a selector that's been sold for $1, right? So why Shakri and Cheongju have synergy is because they both fit in a burn team meta. So you can see Shakri has the ability to do burn damage, and pair that with Cheongju. Later on, you're going to put them together in the same, basically in the same burn team, alongside with Ksenia. So that's going to be something to consider. These can they're all pretty much going to fit into one team. If you're trying to build a burn team for later, I feel like global right now, burn team is pretty much there available for you, right? You can basically slot all of these characters right here, which you can see right now, right? So we got Cheongju, Shakri, Ksenia. These three have very good synergy amongst each other, especially these two, right? Ksenia can easily be replaced with Swami, right? Swami is just so flexible. She can fit into any one particular team. But these two, very good burn team meta. That's going to be something to consider. Now, if you don't have Shakri, Lota is pretty much safe to build. She is going to fit more in an ice team, but she is going to complement Cheongju in terms of, you know, like Lota is going to be much more of an AoE DPS character, whereas Cheongju is going to be much more of a single target, right? So they sort of both like basically even out each other's weaknesses. Practically one tank. Sabrina seems to be a really strong one, and she's pretty much future-proof as well. If you have her, definitely she's not going to be too far off, but if you don't have her, Groza is decent. She's not too bad of a character to build. She does fall off later on into like the super meta high-end team, but you can probably get away with using Groza in almost all the, you know, simple contents like campaign and stuff in the game, right? So she's still not a bad choice for an investment. Can definitely get you by, but Sabrina is going to be much more future-proof. Also in CN, she does receive the buff recently. Something to consider, right? Now, one thing to keep note of is Sabrina and Tololo. I mentioned this in the previous video as well. Both have good synergy, and water team in the future that might come, and these both might become meta. So you can consider that as well. Now, if you have Sabrina and if you have Tololo, consider building them. It is going to be expensive, but Sabrina is a PvP character. I know it's going to be a little bit expensive for you guys to build so many characters. My general suggestion is to focus on 4 for now, right? If you want to go like a little bit far, focus on 5 to 6, but definitely don't focus on too many. It gets super expensive unless you are a paying player. It is with the character, the weapon, the level up, the affinity, everything is like extremely costly early on. Now let's move on into the CN team. These are pretty much what we have available in global. Now all of these are going to have the synergy. These two are going to be probably the best team right now that you can build in global. So in CN teams, alright, like I mentioned, the burn team is going to be, like I mentioned, Shakri, Chongju, and Kasanya, which is these 3. Now Krolik, it depends, right? I've heard mixed things about her. The thing about Krolik is she's definitely going to fall off later on, which I do understand, and some players are very skeptical in terms of wanting to build her or not. She's going to be one of the few melee character in the game. I feel like she's decent, alright? Because I did use her in the beta, she might get you by, but she perhaps might fall off later on. But if you're building a burn team, she definitely fits in there as well. She can be a little bit tricky to use on auto though. So if you really want to use her, make sure you are manualing the game. Alright, that's something to consider. But electric team, this one global don't have any of the characters yet, but pretty much Lena is going to be a very strong character in electric team alongside with Jiang Yu and then Andoris. So these 3, you are pretty much going to see those later on. Again, we don't have access to these characters yet. No idea when they will come. So unless get any of these character, for now we don't really have access to a strong electric team yet. It seems like Lena is going to be the core for electric team, but Andoris is going to be one of the few tank character that can help you. She's quite flexible. She can basically fit in any team, but definitely if you are looking to build electric team in the future, just to give you guys an idea, this is one of the few ones that you can consider. Now as for chill team for ice, Macchiato is going to be a very, very strong character. Now I'm sure you guys have heard of her before. She is one of the more prominent character right now in CN, and I believe she's having a rerun soon as well, alongside with Dush Chef Naya. Now Dush Chef Naya is going to be a support for the ice buffer. She's going to be quite fitting in that role. Now these two definitely pairs well, and you can see right here in the CN team, the ice team, they do recommend these 2 team alongside with Lota and Swami. Lota is also an ice AoE damage dealer, and this team pretty much complements each other, and I would say this is going to be a very, very good one. If you're trying to build an ice team, look out for them, right? Masato is going to be perhaps the second strongest DPS character after Kluke and Cheongju, right? I believe she's tied in with Cheongju as well in terms of one of the highest DPS character. So definitely one character to look out for. And if you want support, then do Naya. No idea when these characters will come. But last but not least, this one is pretty much meta in guild bosses, right? If you guys haven't heard already, Kluke alongside with Peritia, both are very, very strong character. They are both, they will have awesome synergy. Regarding Peritia, yes, I am aware that you can pretty much gamble her in that coin thing. If you guys are not aware, in the dispatch room, right? I haven't done my dispatch for today. Let me claim all and send again. You can go to the mystery box and try to gamble it right here. Now there's a chance. Alright, I don't know what's the chance. Very, very low chance to get Peritia. But if you can get some of her dupes later on, it's going to be pretty cool. You are going to be able to build her later on, and she will be able to perform alongside with Kluke side by side. Very, very strong in the team together. So these two are something that you want to look out for in the future, right? Once Kluke comes, but that's going to be a while more. I guess she can carry you through the story in an AoE scenario, but in single target boss scenario, that's where she sort of falls off a little bit, right? So something to keep in mind. So these are pretty much the characters that you want to look forward to. Let's have a look at the CN teams. So we have this particular team, very, very good alongside Cheongju, Shakri, Swami. You can also pair this with Vector. She is going to be like one of the recent characters in CN as well. So I doubt we'll be getting them anytime soon, right? But this could be a potential team that you want to look out for. The only one we are missing is her. And then we have Kluke, I think Mekti, Peritia, and Kasanya. This one, we're lacking in 2 characters right here. And then for Ice team, like I mentioned, we got options between Macchiato, Suomi, and then Dushevneya. I guess Chongju fits there as well if you want to. Now the team on the left is going to be much more suitable in one-on-one PvP situation, and then the right team is going to be in you tackling the PvE content. Glad to see that Belka is going to get some use later because she's the one that I'm really looking forward to as well in Girls Frontline 2, right? Very, very good character. Overall, huge asset. We'll see how it goes. So again, if you guys are looking to build a team, hopefully this is going to give you guys a perspective. I am aware that, plenty of you guys are probably like scared. You don't want to like invest in the wrong character, because if you do, you're not going to get those resources back, and those are going to be extremely expensive, especially for free-to-play players, right? If you buy the battle pass, which is this thing right here, you're going to get quite a lot of resources, alright? So if you are looking to spend a little bit in the game, and you can spend like some money, this is going to be, I guess, quite worth it. Alright, you also get a 5-star weapon, I believe at level 30. Alright, this is going to be a selector amongst these gift boxes as well. So yeah, if you're looking to progress better or have the flexibility or room to make a little bit of mistakes or build more characters, then the battle pass can be considered. With that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. Let me know what you guys think of Girls Frontline 2. I'll see you guys very, very soon. More videos are in plan. As per usual, subscribe, give this video a like. Have a nice day. Goodbye.